Hey, what's up? I'm back with another video. We talking about the real problem with the Supergirl movie. The movie itself, to me, what I seen, I had no problem with it. I enjoyed it very much. But also with its rumblings that we seen, there was problems, creative disagreements between with James Gunn and Gillespie, whatever. And a lot of problems probably was going on in the post production. Who knows, things probably got changed and whatnot, which you wish it wasn't like that. And maybe the timing of the movie, maybe it should have came out a different month. Maybe if it came out in May, it may we could look at this. We seen when it came out in June, late June, where you had Toy Story, then you have Minions, so they have movies that's being hit. Hey, we didn't even talk about when July 16th when Odyssey comes out, and July 31st the Spider Man, right? So maybe the timing of it, maybe this movie would have been a much bigger movie if it done some years ago, but maybe it could have been better suited for a TV show. And so I hope DC studios don't lose their creative desire to continue to bring us these movies. So it's one little blip in the road, not the end all be all, right? So we could second guess stuff now that we've seen the results though, right? But so that's something that the DC studios they'll learn from. And so I have confidence, we still got Lantis coming up August 16th. We have excuse me, we have Clayface in October. And 20 we got a slew of probably animations that's going to happen next year. And we also got some going on this year, like My Adventure Superman, and you want to have, I believe, coming this year as well, the Cape Crusader, and also in next year, I forgot to mention, you're going to have Nightfall, which was a really good comic book line. So now they're doing a three-part animation movie, which I believe that's going to be kick ass. It's rated R, so I don't have no problem, no issues with that. But as far as the next live action movie, next year is gonna be the real big one. Man of Tomorrow, which that's gonna put it regain that momentum. I believe Clayface would do well, and Atlanta's gonna do well, regaining that momentum that they might have lost somewhat with Supergirl. But James Gunn is the right guy for the job. You just don't change. You no, I'm gonna say this. Man, it could be somebody who could do a better job than James Gunn. Let's be open and say, well, if it's somebody you could bring in, you know, do a better job. Where James Gunn has to just, if you don't focus on just running the studios, not interfering, whatever the case may be. Like the point is, why did James Gunn have to come and interfere in the post production? I was hearing people that I respect, John Campia, said that this movie, where he really didn't really like the movie, he said this movie they should just, did a tax write off on this movie, not let it come out, gave it a bad girl treatment, right? And I respect his opinion though. And he's a big James Gunn fan, so James Gunn gotta figure if you're gonna make movies or don't make movies at all and just oversee the stuff. And so that could have been a problem where he was filming doing Man of Tomorrow. And actually they still are filming the stuff now. So I'm not worried long as that long as that DC they keep going eyes on the prize. I guess this is like a one little blimp, as I said again. And they got other stuff they got want to do. With the Jimmy Ocean show, the Mr. Terrific, Paradise Lost with the film with Wonder Woman. We do know I believe Wonder Woman has been cast. Adriana, um, who's that? Manoa, Lobo's that guy who plays Lobo, Jason Momoa's girlfriend. I believe she's supposed to be the Wonder Woman. So I believe Wonder Woman could possibly come out in 2028. We know the Brave and the Bold is gonna come out, but if I'm a director, Adam Machete, whatever, no, I'm going with I would have Reeves as a producer on there, but Mangold would be a name I look after, or the Sam Raimi. That's another guy you could look at doing a Batman because he wanted to do Batman before. So those two names I would look at the directing of Batman, and we'll get this Batman off the ground and running. So we get a writer, you maybe not Reeves the writer, but the guy Thomason who co-wrote the Batman Part Two. Maybe see if he could come with something though, right? So we'll do that, right? It's all hands on deck because Batman's a big character, so we gotta get that Trinity in the movie. I'm also hearing that Martian Manhunter's supposed to be in the Man of Tomorrow. Yeah, that's the problem with the Supergirl. I mean, it could have been timing, and maybe what they wasn't doing wasn't. But maybe the people wasn't receptive. They really care as much for the Supergirl because listen, when you had the phase one of MCU, you had Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. These are the big hitters for Marvel, though, right? And you see how they flushed it out with these other characters and stuff, which led a way for like a Captain Marvel to do that billion and stuff, right? So it led the way. So we gotta get the bigger A-listers out there. So the Wonder Woman and Batman, you know, get a Flash, get a Aquaman, and then you bring on these other stuff, but flesh out the A-listers first. Then people, okay, now who's this character right here? Okay, now they could come and watch that character. But second movie out the gate, it was Supergirl. You know, I better now looking back at it. Maybe they should have waited a little longer. Hey, you know what? We're not gonna bring the Supergirl out. Maybe a TV show would have been good for the Supergirl, and it worked on bringing that Wonder Woman out and stuff. So now they know clock is ticking. It's game time. So James Gunn, Peter Safran, they can't mess around. They gotta get these big listers out. You gotta have the Trinity movies out before any other big movies. I don't care about TV. TV shows, cool. They could do that. Like I said, Mr. Ripper's getting a TV show. I don't care about the TV shows. That's another way you can flesh out characters doing TV shows. That's fine and cool. But Wonder Woman, Batman, those gotta be the next two movies. Not necessarily in that same order, or it could be whatever. But those two, three will have to. Those two will have to be next. And like you said, maybe down the line, I don't know, maybe a Martian Manhunter movie, but definitely gotta get a Flash movie because being that Gorilla Ground is gonna be in that Jimmy Ocean show, which is sort of be like a mockumentary comedy. So that TV show with Jimmy Ocean that'll work and stuff. And also other animations we got Mr. Miracles rated R, but it's part of DCU, which is gonna introduce Dark Side, Big Barter, right? The new guys, all that other stuff, right? So let's get these A-listers out and stuff. Let's do that. We need to get these A-listers out. We need that. You got to be able to take DCU serious. This should be a wake up call. Like I said, even though I like Supergirl, but still in all, it doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of people just didn't show up for Supergirl. Not probably was a really horrible movie. It was probably like people saying, well, people I was hearing saying, like critics, whatever, saying it was just an okay, average to mediocre movie. That's not going to be enough for that character to bring people to come in. It like only way to get away with it like this was Michael Bay doing a Transform movie. Maybe the story was just like okay, but you got the big explosions, all this action stuff like that. Yeah, they don't care. You want to see something get blown up. But Supergirl didn't have that luxury. It's not a real big A-lister. It's a derivative character, so that's why they have to be careful with doing these derivative characters and stuff. So just keep stay focused, bring the big hitters, Wonder Woman, Batman, continue flush out the Justice League. Same thing Marvel did is flushing out the Avengers. You bring out the Justice League, right? And so do that. So the Aquaman, the Flash, whatever. Hell, even if you want to have Cyborg show up in one of these other movies, cool, because But put those other movies on hold. Do not bring out a Bane and Deathstroke movie. Not until you get these other bigger movies. Let that be way down the line. Please don't do this. I want this universe to strive and succeed. And even if James Gunn's not there, you can have some other creators coming in and create this movie. But keep the DCU going. We got a generational talent as Superman, David Cornsweet. That's Superman right there. Don't even mess with that. We got a Lois Lane, got the Lex Luthor. So we have these characters and stuff. And let's build off of that. What we do have, so out of two movies, one was a hit and one was a miss. So okay, so now they made one and failed with one. And so next year, I put everything falls on the man of tomorrow though. Even though Clippers can come out and be real solid, but it's the derivative character. It's gonna be it all's gonna fall on the Superman 2 like the Wonder Woman's coming out. We know Superman movie coming out next year, a sequel. Even though I'm hearing Wonder Woman's supposed to be in it though, but we're gonna need to get the Trinity in there. The Wonder Woman movie, the Batman movie off the ground. I don't care what they gotta do, get these creatives in here to get this Batman off the ground running. We need the Batman in there. He print, he just, prints money for DC. We gotta get the Wonder Woman in there. That's what those females want to see, the Wonder Woman. That's gonna get them to come to the field to see the Wonder Woman. I like Supergirl, but she's not necessarily gonna like get people to come to movies like that. How Wonder Woman will, right? Because Wonder Woman was more resounding name and so, but yeah, she represents the House of L Supergirl, but it's not gonna be enough for the general audience. The general audience don't know enough about Supergirl. All they just see is like a person with an S on their chest. It's not Superman. That's not gonna probably gonna cut it. So let's get Wonder Woman out to come there. Let's get Batman. Let's get the Flash. They know who the Flash is, right? Let's get the Flash. Let's get Aquaman. And then all these other projects, yeah, down the line, yeah, you go shoehorn these other projects, down the line. But we have to get the main creme de la creme out there now, and let's stop bringing out the Timu characters, right? So I'm just keeping it real. So that's the problem. It's not that the movie was so god awful. I seen it was a lot of bad movies. Like comic movies, probably one of the worst comic movies ever. It was probably Meteor Man, The Quest for Peace. Those Sony Spider-Man characters, like that Sony did, they own whatever, right? The Morbulus, the Craven the Hunters, the Madam Webs, all that stuff, right? Those are probably really bad comic book movies. So we at DC Studios, us fans, needed to tell these James Gunn and them, hey man, get these creatives in here, let them work. Let them operate. Get these directors in there. You could get the Batman, like Mangold, Sam Raimi, have him do something. Stay in contact with Reed. Anything that he could contribute to the DCU Batman related stuff that could help out, or like maybe some people that works with him could help with the script, whatever, for the Batman. Let's gotta get this ball rolling, Cause look, Marvel's is like, how many victory laps we gonna watch Marvel take on the DCU? They constantly taking victory laps on us though, right? Or I'm saying Disney, Marvel, whatever you want to call them. They constantly taking victory laps where we have to struggle, and hopefully we could have something do really well. But all Marvel, they got, hey, you know what? Tell what you call it, James Cameron. Okay, when you think you have that next Avatar, billion plus. All these a lot of these Disney animations, Pixar, billions. So they gotta get their stuff together, be ready, right? Because with the merger and stuff. But I like that like a lot of these projects are being greenlit, certain projects and stuff. Like the anime, I'm like to get back with the animation stuff too. They doing right. But yeah, Supergirl. That's the reason. Like I said, Supergirl. It was a miss by Warner Brothers, DC. I can't front. I like the movie, but it doesn't matter what I like in the grand scheme of things, though. But the general audience, the casuals, they didn't really like the Supergirl movie, and hey, that's their opinion. But we know why, because it's a derivative character, and it wasn't. It probably the timing wasn't good, and then it was a lot of other stuff going on with this movie. So now you really look and say, damn, this movie never really had a chance to succeed anyway. And so, but I enjoyed it. So I'll be getting the 4K Blu-ray of this movie and still support it. And hopefully the VOD of the Supergirl movie supposed to be like July 28th. So hopefully that sells well where the studio can make some money off of that because it wasn't making a whole lot in the studios. So hopefully they'll do something, and hopefully they learned their lesson from this. And let's get the act together now. It's go time. You know? And so I have no doubt that Men of Tomorrow will do very well. And Clayface, I think it could be a hit because like it's a low budget horror film, body horror film, and it could probably do well at the box of October, sort of the month of Halloween. So that'll do well. I think the Lanterns the Lanterns TV shows is going to do well. You know, HBO, they're pretty spot on when they do their shows or HBO. So I'm based on their track record, I'm gonna give HBO the benefit of the doubt. You know, whether you like DC or not, but you gotta trust it. HBO's track record doing these TV shows, high quality TV shows. So we'll see how that all goes, and hopefully everything goes to plan where they could lead the way for when Man of Tomorrow comes out this around this time next year, because I believe it comes out the ninth, I believe. So you'll have those early showings of Superman probably around this same time right now. So Lord willing, hopefully I'm there to see the Superman Man of Tomorrow. I can't wait. But yeah, it's a lesson to be learned why Supergirl failed overall at the box office, and costing it's going to cost DC some millions of dollars and stuff. And so yeah, enough of these derivative characters. Bring out the heavy hitters. That's gonna get people to come and stuff. So like, you don't want to see like a mid Carter in a main event, right? You're not gonna come out to see that. In the big fights, when it was the little mid Carters, whatever, they don't show up, right? It still be empty. Now when it gets close time for the main event, now you start to see the crowd start to pile in and stuff, right? And that's what I felt like with Supergirl. And trust me, I took one showing. I was at a showing, and like the theater was empty. Right with Supergirl, it was like empty. There was no big music. Like, Supergirl, okay, yeah, that's cool, but like it was no return trips for that, which is kind of sad. It was no return trips for it. So hopefully they gotta take this in stride and learn from it. Hopefully it makes them better in the long run. Hopefully it makes them better. Like, and like hopefully James Gunn doesn't have no ego or nothing. He's you know what? Let's get these creators in. Hey, who can we get to him to help make this Batman? Who can we get the best possible person to help with this Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman? Start greenlighting these projects without having a script ready. So like he didn't want to do that. Let's have a script ready. Start greenlighting these projects. Now you're getting people interested. Oh, they do the Flash or the Aquaman. Oh, whatever, right? Start greenlighting this stuff and get these characters in there. So whatever, even out of the script, start doing that. So sometimes you have to modify and change your way of thinking to really succeed. Because like what you probably came in thinking, oh, this is gonna work like this. No, you gotta green light these projects even without a script or whatever. You have to do that. Cause that's gonna get people excited and interested. That's how you build a hype for something, though. If we gotta wait till it's be a script, whatever. Oh, so when's Batman coming? You know what? We already announcing Batman. Cool, right? With even out of script. So Batman, Wonder Woman, whatever, which one of gonna come next? Which I think is gonna be Wonder Woman. Just based on how close we're gonna get that Paradise Lost show, supposed to be happening really soon, I believe, as well. So they gotta have him do that, you know. So James Gunn, clock is click. The clock is ticking. So let's make it happen, you know. And I like James Gunn on this, but I'm a DC guy fan first, foremost. So, as much as I like James Gunn, you know, you won't be the first or last person to come over to DC to help do something, right? So hey, I ride with DC, the characters, all that, before executives. So that's how I feel. So like whoever they bring in here who's gonna do the job, I support them as well. So yeah, that's all I got for now. Let me know what y'all think, though. That's my take on the Supergirl. Why I didn't do good timing and a lot of other stuff, but mostly timing and derivative character, what people didn't really care about. Even though the story they was bringing was pretty decent, but it wasn't gonna be enough for the general population, the casual fans, to really care a whole lot to make return visits for Supergirl. You see, it was a return visit with Superman because that's everyone. That's A-list character. They gonna show up for that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. It was like kind of disappointing though, but that's it. Hopefully I'll have some better news for y'all, like and stuff. Hopefully, but I got covered some months animations I'm gonna do for like this Superman, my venture with Superman, and the X-Men '97 season 2. So I'm gonna do stuff with that and give my breakdown of that as well. So those videos will be coming as well and stuff. So I thank you for all your support. And I see you to the next. Oh, I see you to the next video. All right, I'm out of here.